Welcome to the Somos Sunnyside podcast, brought to you by the Communications Department of the Sunnyside Unified School District. Thank you for tuning in while we share stories about the bright side of education.
Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Somos Sunnyside. That's right, we are Sunnyside. This is Jose Castellan, the proud superintendent of the Sunnyside Unified School District. And we have a special show today. We got special guests here today. And there's a lot to talk about. So much going on. We're about 9 weeks into the school year, and we're having a great year. You know, things are going well, and there's so much more to do. And so we want to keep our community informed. That's right. We want to be transparent and keep them informed of what we're doing here in Sunnyside, what's going on here in Sunnyside. So our guest today, we got two strong leaders here today, two strong principals that are leading our comprehensive high schools. And we got our principal from Desert View High School, Mrs. Angelica Duddleston. Hello, Mrs. Duddleston.
Hello, sir.
How are you?
Doing great.
And she's all sported out in her maroon and black and gray and whatever other color you guys are using nowadays. And Miss Stephanie Ponce over here, our principal of Sunnyside High School, is rolling her eyes because I'm talking about maroon, but she's all in blue
we
and
look
black.
Very good in blue.
Right? So a little rivalry here, right? There's always fun in the rivalry. But, you know, we want to talk about what's going on in high schools a little bit. We want to, make sure our listeners know what our high schools have to offer. I'm so proud of the work that our high schools have done. And I feel like they're trending in the right direction, and they're attractive schools for our students and families of our community. And so let's get started. I think the first thing I'd love to do is just have you guys introduce yourselves. Tell the community a little bit about your pathway, your experiences. Where you went to school, where you got your start, and how you landed in this role as principals, leading pretty large comprehensive high schools. We got at Desert View approximately about 2,000 students. At Sunnyside, you got about 2,200 plus students. And so we have big high schools, right? And it's definitely one of my favorite topics. I don't know if you guys know, but I was a former high school principal at one time.
What high school, sir?
And if you didn't know, I was a principal at Desert View High School, but I also got to teach at Sunnyside High School.
Where did you graduate from, sir?
And I graduated. I'm a proud Blue Devil, so I got the best of both worlds, right? I get to wear the blue, the maroon, and be proud of it. And so I've spent time at both sides. So in case you didn't know, there it is. But let's get started. So, whoever wants to jump in, let's go get at it.
Sure. Hello, everybody. My name is Angelica Duddleston. I am the very proud principal at Desert View High School. I am starting about year 22 in this district. My entire career has been in Sunnyside. I'm not a student of this district, but I really did grow up in this district, running around here since diapers. My mom was a kindergarten teacher, mostly at Elvira and Liberty, and my dad was the principal of Sunnyside High School for 23 years, and so I bled blue for a very, very, very long time. But I'm a Catholic schoolgirl. I went to Catholic school, but really genuinely feel like a product of our district. But my entire career has been here. I taught elementary school, Summit View, and Lawfer, and then I was an assistant principal at Sierra and Lawfer, and principal at Challenger, and now I've been at Desert View High School for the last 5 years. Wow. 5 years. Mm-hmm. What about you, Ms.
Awesome.
Ponce?
Well, good afternoon. My name is Stephanie Ponce. I am the very proud principal of Sunnyside High School. Very much like Miss Duddleston, I did not graduate from Sunnyside High School, but I've bled blue for a really long time. I come from a legacy of Gonzaleses that have graduated through Sunnyside and really made a name for themselves, and that really brought me back to the district when I graduated from the University of Arizona. I have only worked in Sunnyside School District regarding my educational career. career, and I started off as a Craycroft Hawk. Super proud of working in Littletown and just supporting the students over there. I moved to the district office right before I helped open Gallego Intermediate, which was a really big privilege. And then I got the honor of being the assistant principal of Sunnyside High School for the freshman academy. That was just such a special time, and I really loved being at Sunnyside. But I knew that I needed to continue my trajectory or continue to support kids in the best way that I could. So during COVID, I got to go to Liberty and work with some amazing teachers and amazing communities. Our families were just fantastic, and I spent a couple years there as the principal, and then I had the honor of going back to Sunnyside in a new role as the principal. And so I have been there. This is going on my 4th year, and I couldn't be more proud to be there.
All right. Well, there you have it. There you have it, folks.
Long
It's these two leaders bring just a wealth of experience, and I think what I love about your guys' pathway and your experiences is the deep roots you have. As you mentioned, Mrs. Ponce, you're the Gonzalez family, right? And shout out to Rick and Jean and the rest of the Gonzalez. Can't keep track of all of them. There's a bunch of them, but they just have deep roots here in Sunnyside. And one thing I love about it is they always give back to the community, right? They've always been involved in Sunnyside and with sports programs and other programs, and it's neat to see that, right? There's a lot of Sunnyside graduates, whether they're from Desert View or Sunnyside High School or Star Academic High School, that have gone on to do great things. And I think when you graduate from here, you want to give back because of what was given to you, right? And what I mean by that is opportunities, people that help shape your life, help you become the person you are today. And so speaking of that, Mrs. Duddleston's father, Mr. Raul Nido, you heard it from her principal here, 23 years, which is like unheard of now.
Yep. He was also an alumni.
He's
graduated.
a Sunnyside graduate. He's
Known
from
as
Sarik,
Mr.
Sonora,
Sunnyside.
right? So my grandparents called him Raulito because he's from Sarik, and my grandparents knew him, and it's neat because he was my principal, and I graduated back in '92. But I remember the moments that he would come up to me and have conversations with me and inspired me, right, to do more than I thought I could do. And that's what educators are all about. It's about making sure that our own kids believe in themselves and reach those goals that they may not have, but we help shape and we help them create those goals that they feel sometimes are unattainable, but they're not. And time again, we're proving that great kids come out of Sunnyside and are doing great things. And so a big thank you to Mr. Raul Nido. He's the one that told me, go get your degree, go graduate, when I didn't even know if I was going to college at the time, to be honest with you. And he says, and then come see me for a job. And I did that, and he kept his word, and he took a risk, and gave me a job. And then when I started working, and I'm not trying to make this about me, guys, but I love to tell this story because, even though I was a college graduate and teaching at Sunnyside, I still had some doubts and stuff, and he continued to push me. He's like, hey, I need you to present to faculty and staff at PD sessions, and I need you to do this, wanting me to get into these leadership roles. And so I owe a lot to him, in terms of someone that really, helped, shape my future, along with a lot of my coaches, right? But anyways, this is not about me. This is about the Sunnyside Unified School District, and this is about the amazing stories that are happening here. And I want to talk a little bit about both of these high schools, because what people don't know is the success that's happening in the trenches, right? The success that's happening behind closed doors. And although we try to be as transparent as possible with everything we're doing, sometimes we just got to continue to tell the stories, right? And so I want to talk to both of you about something exciting. You guys are both B-rated high schools, right? And you guys have some strong Bs, and I know the goal is to hit A, right? And so, sometimes when you talk about Sunnyside and Desert View, that's not what's talked about. What's talked about is athletics, fine arts, music, and those are great programs, important programs. But let's talk academics here. Let's talk a little bit about, how you guys got there, what the work behind that a little bit, and how do you guys got huge staffs. I hope people realize that our high schools have over 100 teachers, probably about 200 staff members. So it's over 2,000 students. So it's like you're running your own little town there, right? And so tell me about what conversations are had and how you set expectations, how do you set tone at your school to reach these goals?
I think that there's a lot of pieces that have been put forth at Sunnyside High School. So I think about my first year coming in and really just setting like a culture of we want our kids to be prideful when they walk onto our campus. We want our parents and our community to be prideful about what they see, what they hear, and what they're speaking. And I couldn't be more excited to share that the fact that last year we had almost 500 graduates, which is the largest graduating class that we've had at Sunnyside High School in over 40 years. We gave these goals to our students and we said, hey, we want you to leave your legacy, and the legacy is about like the academic portion of it. And our class of 2025 definitely rose to the occasion. I know that our class of 2026 is looking on beating that, and just setting some new goals when it comes to the amount of scholarship dollars that our kids are getting. Last year we had $17 million in scholarships. We have students going all over the country, West Point, Johns Hopkins, U of A, ASU, NAU, and it's really about making sure that our kids understand that they have the ability to get there. And a lot of that comes from the communication that we have with our parents, telling our parents our story, our parents coming back and telling our story, and just having that communication across the board.
Yeah, love it. I mean, I think that's what needs to get out into this community. Kids, the scholarship monies they're earning, the record number of graduates, that we're having, our kids going to these prestigious colleges, earning prestigious scholarships. That's not talked about enough, right? And it's happening here in Sunnyside. It's happening here in this community, and we need to give credit where credit is due. It's not just these private institutions or these affluent communities that are having success. We're having success here, and so let's hear about Desert View here.
It's been really cool to see the things that you're doing at Sunnyside. We're cheering you guys on over at Desert View, but we've got great things happening at Desert View as well. Again, great scholarship numbers. Last year's class brought in $13.5 million in scholarships. And just like Mrs. Ponce said, like our kids are everywhere and they belong. We have kids at NYU. We have students that earn the Doran Scholarship. I think one of my greatest areas of pride right now is the work that we're doing with our students. And this summer, I had the distinct privilege of hearing from one of the professors from the U of A who called out Desert View students in particular, who said she is seen, this is a math teacher in college, who is saying the Desert View kids stand out. They stand out as showing up ready. What we're doing very intentionally is partnering with our kids around learning, making sure that they are part of the process so that it is something that is done with them and not done to them. This week alone, our students are sitting there planning with teachers, literally looking at lesson plans and how they can better support students learning in that process. It's been 5 years of really sticking to keeping learning at the focus of what we do. Our vision at Desert View is we are all learners, and it's definitely paying off. We're seeing our students achieve higher scores, but it's more than just the test scores. It's really what they're able to do when they leave us after graduation, and that we're setting them up for success for whatever they choose, military, career, college, university. We have some incredible programs. Our precision manufacturing team that is taking kids across the world to put prosthetic legs on people. So many of our programs that are really just shining and putting Desert View on the map.
That's right. Well said. And so, there you go. To our listeners out there, really, you could have it all at both of these high schools. And so we're going to take a quick break. Don't take off on us. We got so much more to talk about. We'll be right back.
Sunnyside students can have it all, learning and growing to graduate college, career, and community ready. Don't believe us? Just watch. At Sunnyside Unified School District, we are preparing our graduates with real-world skills and experiences. Our graduates are leaving Sunnyside to pursue an Ivy League education, becoming collegiate-level athletes, and earning prestigious scholarships such as the Gates Millennium, Dell, and Dorrance.
All right, we're back. So you heard just everything that's going on at both of these high schools, all the great things that are going on, and such a great place for students to be. And we talk a lot about the student experience. Each child, college, career, community ready, and that's happening. That's happening every day in our high schools. It's happening in every classroom, and we got some prestigious programs, some great programs, and it's an experience for what kids want. Whatever they want their experience to be, it's a positive one, and it's one that will provide opportunities. And we're the pudding, or the proof is in the pudding, I should say. When you look at the data, right? When you look at graduation rates, when you look at scholarships, when you look at kids going on to do great things, whether they go to college or they pursue a career, these great things are happening. They're happening for sure. And so for those parents out there that are wondering where they want to send their kids to high school, to you middle school students, we have middle school visitations coming up at the end of the semester and probably early spring. And parents, our doors are open. You want to come out, you want to check out what we got going on, come on over. That's what these schools have to offer, and again, that's we're not even talking about all the other great programs like fine arts and music, mariachi, folklorico. Our bands we have great bands that are getting better and better, and we have great athletic programs. And so, speaking of athletic programs, the timing is perfect, right? Football season. It is football season. We have the annual Duel in the district, the rivalry game. That is going to happen October 2nd at 7 p.m. at Desert View High School. That's right. Sunnyside High School is taking the bus on over, and they're going to compete against Desert View High School for, again, the Duel in the district. So we invite the entire community to come out. It's a Thursday night, so it's not a Friday night football game. We have a grades day on Friday, and we know that parents go out of town, so we want the whole community there. We want to do it for this Thursday. And it's going to be a great game. Our teams, our coaches, Coach Bonillas, Coach Romack at Sunnyside, they're off to a great start. They really are. I believe Sunnyside is now 3-1.
4-0.
And Desert View is 4-0. So combined 7-1 record, which is pretty awesome. And they got some big wins under their belt. I know Sunnyside, beat up on Micah Mountain last week. Yes, so we say that with a lot of pride. And Desert View's been beating up everybody too. I mean, they beat up on Marana Mountain View. Marana Mountain View. They put up 57 points against them. So it's going to be a great game. It's for bragging rights a little bit, right? I remember playing in that game way back in the day, and no, we weren't wearing leather helmets back then. We had real helmets. I'm not that old, but it's bragging rights for the year, and so it's such a great event. So any thoughts? Any side bets here? Any got to wear the Desert View shirt, the Blue Devil shirt? Just putting it out there.
Going down, Miss Ponce.
There's always bragging rights. Always bragging rights. You know what the really exciting thing is that both teams are having such a good start to the season. This makes the game even more exciting. At the end of the day, we talk about it. The competition is great, and we love our Jaguars, and we know our Jaguars love the Blue Devils. But at the end of the day, this is one of the big events that we get to come together, and we just get to have fun as a community. So we wish Desert View the best of luck, because they'll need it. Our kids are coming.
Watch out. It's okay. Our underclassmen will show you guys how to handle it.
Love it. I have to separate them right now. You guys stay on each side of the table there.
It is, aside from graduation, the biggest community event that we have. Yeah. And everybody comes out. This isn't just a Sunnyside Desert View event. We have people from the community, alumni, kids from all schools, all levels. And so we're excited to open up our doors to the entire district as we take on the Blue Devils.
At the
Can't
end
wait.
Of the day,
Can't
at the
wait.
end of the day, it's a good time for the community. It's a good time for all of us to come together, and we always talk about it. Sunnyside and Desert View, like we're family, and Star with like the three schools together. Our kids are your kids, and
You wanna make a bet?
it'll be a good
Well,
time.
we're not family that night, so.
What side are you sitting on, sir? I'm
well,
gonna ask you that
hey,
question. Where are you sitting?
I got the best answer. I'm wearing a black shirt that says Sunnyside Unified School District.
He's gonna leave
and-
his Blue Devil Letterman's jacket
and,
at home.
and so, I'll be standing on the 50-yard line. No, I won't. I'd be in the way if I did that. But I will be on the sideline.
Which side?
Both sidelines. I'm very conscientious of that, and I gotta make sure that I split my time. I got a timer on my watch, because then they're gonna say I'm favoring one school over the other. So no, I can't wait. I mean, such a great event, and the great thing is both teams. Everybody's a winner that night.
Yeah.
You bring the community together. Our bands are out there. Our performers are out there. Our cheer squads, and it's just an awesome time and an awesome event that we all look forward to every year. The only thing that's missing, and I've been asking for this for years, we need some sort of like trophy. Like U of A, ASU U of A has a territorial
We've
cup.
talked about it.
Like we need the gran sombrero, the gran bota, or
It's a
something.
great year to start.
The
Desert View has a perfect spot on the shelf, ready for it.
All right.
Desert View also has
Woo!
a machine,
The-
a place that can make it too.
So we'll have to, I don't have an answer for you all, but I don't know. We're gonna have to come up with something
Yes.
by next week.
I think
on
that'd be awesome to
who
add it.
wins the
traveling trophy.
The traveling trophy,
Yeah.
whatever that may be. Maybe it's like a burrito, carne asada, and molded in bronze. We might have to have precision machining come
Okay.
up with something. Anyways, as we shift gears here, there you heard it. Again, October 2nd, 7 p.m. at Desert View High School. Please be there. Just a little side note, we do cashless entry. So if you have an app, there's a QR code. You can pay for your ticket there.
It's on gofan.com.
GoFan.com, and we don't turn anybody away. We will help you out if you don't have the app. We do IOUs. No, I'm kidding. So as we shift gears here, I want to talk a little bit about an important topic that's coming up, and that is Proposition 416. I want to share some factual information here, because it is so critical to our district. And again, just sharing factual information. What is Proposition 416? So our governing board approved for us to go for a bond. And that's what it is. It's a bond, and it's again labeled Proposition 416. It's a $120 million bond. And the reason we are asking the community to vote on this is because our schools are in need. We have aging facilities. The average age of our 21 schools is 39 years old. Sunnyside just turned 70 last month.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, my son Jace reminds me every time. He keeps track of the birthdays of all these schools.
Desert View turned
And
40,
so-
August 26,
Desert
1985
View
was the
turned
first day.
40. So,
they opened the
everybody
doors.
thinks of Desert View as the newer school, but it's not so new anymore, right? So you got two high schools sitting at 70 years old and 40 years old. And so, we had some experts last year come in and do an assessment of all the 21 sites. And they scored them 1 through 5, 5 being the highest, and not one of our schools scored a 4. So there you have it. I mean, we have schools in poor shape, and that's not because we haven't tried to take care of them. It's just that they're aging facilities. And so we've done a lot of work to our schools over the years for those people that drive in the neighborhood. I mean, the curb appeal's looking a lot better. Brand new marquees, parking lots, we got paint. We've done gyms at both high schools. We've redone the auditoriums. We have scoreboards at both high schools, sound systems at both fields. I mean, we have turf at both fields. I mean, we've done a lot. Mm-hmm. But, when we passed an override 2 years ago in 2023, we asked for the minimum because we hadn't passed an override in 16 years. And so I feel like there's trust in the community now. And that, passing that override in 23, it was a 60% yes votes. And that speaks volumes, right, about the communities behind us. And so, we are asking the community to vote here. We're not telling you to vote yes or no. We're telling you, we're sharing factual information. Again, Proposition 416, $120 million bond. It will cost taxpayers about $3.67 based on an assessed value home of $100,000. Again, that's assessed value. That's not market value. That's not what you would sell your home for. That's that little statement you get in the mail from the county every year that always, tells you what your home's worth, and you probably never agree with it because it's usually lower. So it's based off that number, so what will we do? If this is successful, we're going to fix our schools. Is what we're going to do. Every school is going to get something. We call it the hidden ugliness that needs to be fixed. We have mechanical issues, HVAC issues. Right now at Desert View High School, we have to replace the entire central plant HVAC unit, and it's about $3.5 million. So just to give people an idea of what things cost, right? We have roofs to replace. We have plumbing issues. And one thing we know for sure is that school is going to be open the next day. But we can't operate school when you don't have plumbing, when you don't have AC. And so we are asking the community to get involved, to know exactly what they're voting for. And I'll say this, our kids deserve the very best. And one of the things I think a lot about is when our kids go to other schools to compete, whether that's in band, whether that's in sports, and they walk up to some of these newer high schools or newer middle schools, and they're in awe of what they see, right? And then they have to come back to some of our old high schools, right? And we're doing the best we can with what we got, but we need more. And so I wanna pose the question to our high school principals here, our high school leaders is, having a successful bond effort, what would that mean to your sites? What would that mean to this community? What would that mean to the entire district, right?
So when I think about Sunnyside High School's allotted, I believe, $50 million of that $120 million bond. And, what a big difference that would make for our schools. We are 70 years old. We have a lot of tours and a lot of alumni that come through, and they're walking through the same auditorium, the same hallways that they did 70 years ago. And to be able to upgrade those and have a place where our students are prideful, but not just our current students, but our future students, to know that we have a building that's available and a building that's up to par and is exciting to be in for all of the future Blue Devils that are coming through. I know that there are discussions about our fine and performing arts buildings, and there's discussion, we already have some upgrades as far as our gym, but we have a legacy of wrestlers and a brand new wrestling room, and just making sure that our kids understand that not only are they doing what they're supposed to be doing, but we are also providing them with the facilities so that they feel like they have everything that they need to be able to be successful.
Mr. Costello remembers walking down those halls, right?
Same hallway, 70 years ago.
I don't think they've changed much.
And
I want to paint the picture, right? Give people a visual, because there's a lot of people in the community that have deep roots with Sunnyside. Those classroom buildings have not changed. There's been a lot of changes. Don't get me wrong. We haven't been sitting on our butts not doing nothing. I mean,
right.
You have brand new auditorium, our auto mechanics, and then our
we have a brand new cybersecurity
building.
Brand new football, soccer field with all scoreboards and press box.
Right, and the picture I want to put out there is the 100 hall, the 200 hall, the 300, the 400, the 500. Those classroom buildings need to be gone. They need to be torn down and rebuilt, because those are the buildings that we really can't do much with. They're just outdated. And we need modern classroom environments is what we need, and our kids deserve it. And so, I want to make sure to, and we encourage you, come out and take a look, right? Come out and take a look. Our freshman academy is looking good, but there's just certain, buildings on that campus that need to go and need to be replaced.
I think there's a big piece to it as well is, Sunnyside's built on a legacy and a tradition and what Sunnyside looks like. There's a lot of pieces that will still scream Sunnyside Blue Devils, still
Absolutely.
Scream that legacy of what we have been and what we will continue to be. But at the same time, it's making sure that our kids have the ability to push forward and have everything that they, deserve.
There's definitely no doubt that Sunnyside High School needs some major upgrades. I know that just east of you, we got half of our district that comes into Desert View, and I'm proud to say that we have a lot of the same upgrades that have occurred. Our football field, our auditorium is probably the best on this part of town anywhere. There's none that beats it. It's incredible. But we are continuing to fight, like Mr. Castellum said, right? The things like air conditioning, mechanical issues that are getting in the way of keeping our school operating smoothly. Our kids deserve to come in to have a place that they are proud of. We're excited that we're getting new classrooms with furniture. All of those pieces matter. I think, as Ms. Ponce said, this isn't just about the kids that are sitting at Desert View right now, but it's about the legacy of the kids that are coming to us from Los Niños, from Craycroft, from Summit View, from Santa Clara, from Elvira. All of those kids, Los Amigos, that come and feed into us through the middle schools, that we want them to show up and be proud of that, because we know that our families have options. Both Mrs. Ponce and I have made a choice with our own kids to bring them to the Sunnyside district, even though we don't live here. My kid's a 7th grader, and my kid is either going to go to Sunnyside or Desert View. His dad teaches at Sunnyside.
We're waiting for you.
But he's picking mom right now. But we're excited about the fact that I know my kid is going to have an incredible high school experience, and it's going to be even better if we can give them the facilities that they need. Our band kids, our athletes, our art kids, our academic kids, our CTE programs, all of them, our kids deserve to walk in and really be proud of what they have.
That's right. Our kids deserve it, right? And they're worth every penny. And so, one of the things I just want to capture these factual pieces, once again, it's Proposition 416. There's signs all over the community you've probably seen. And it's a $120 million bond. It's about $3.67 a month and $44 a year. We have the election day is November 4th. It's a mail-in ballot. So you'll probably be receiving those ballots in early October, I believe around October 4th. And mail them back in. What we want is people to get involved, people to vote. People to know what they are voting for. And in this case, you've heard it here. These are the factuals. And here's what I'll say. And you've heard me already say our kids deserve it, because they do. And no matter where you live, you're going to be asked to vote for these types of things, whether it's a bond, it's an override. Every community is having to do this because public schools aren't funded appropriately by the state and federal government. And so we have to put it on our communities to vote and support. And so if we want great schools, if we want great communities, then the answer is investing in students, right? If you plan to live there for a while, that's how you can help your community out, by voting. And so, you've heard it here. It's for all the right reasons. And we want to continue to put the Sunnyside Unified School District on the map. We can compete with anybody, and we want to make sure that it's being seen and being heard out there. And so, once again, I definitely want to thank our 2 leaders, and I would put these 2 principals up against any other high school principal here or around the country. And I'm not sucking up to them because they got deep roots here, and they're going to be here for a while. And so, these are your future leaders. These are these individuals that are going to be running this district, in the future. And your kids are in great hands at these schools and in all of our schools. And so, once again, we ask you to get involved and let's make Sunnyside, let's continue to make Sunnyside, a great community and a great student experience for our kids. And so with that, I'm gonna leave it to any last thoughts, shout outs that you guys want to put out there, and we'll wrap up.
I just want to say that come to Desert View, come check it out. We have really, really, really built an incredible special place for our community, and we're excited to have all of you guys. Go Jaguars. Looking forward to seeing all of you there.
And to all our current Blue Devils and future Blue Devils, please be out October 2nd for the Duel in the Desert. Make sure that you're in attendance. It is a blue out, and so let's make sure we show up and just show our pride and so forth. At Sunnyside High School, the expectation is excellence. We talk about this with our kids. We talk about this with our parents, and most importantly with our staff. We expect excellence from everybody who's involved, and that's the way we continue to move our community forward. And so thank you for letting me be a part of that.
Let's go Jags.
Go Blue Devils.
All right, so we're going to go ahead and cut it off right here because it's getting a little heated. But no, in all seriousness, thank you, listeners. Please share this information. This is definitely a great episode with some great information. And, until the next time, hasta la próxima. This is Somos Sunnyside. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Somos Sunnyside. We hope you enjoyed the conversation and found it entertaining. If you liked what you heard, don't forget to subscribe and share our podcast with la comunidad. For updates on future episodes and more, be sure to follow us on social media and visit our website at susd12.org. We appreciate your support and can't wait to have you back for the next episode. Hasta la próxima vez en Somos Sunnyside.